There's a verse in the Bible, in the book of Ephesians, that actually warns us against coarse joking, warns us against using bad language and those kind of things. In other words, it kind of warns us and helps us to put a guard on our mouth. In other words, in a nutshell, that how we use our mouth, the things that we say truly matter. Sometimes we think that they don't matter, but they actually matter. So allow me just for a few minutes of your time to speak to you and challenge you on what I've entitled, Watch Your Mouth. Watch your mouth. My name is Mwai, a pastor with Christ is the Answer Ministries, and what a joy it always is for me to be able to just share a few words of wisdom, especially from the Holy Scriptures. Watch your mouth. You've probably had that expression or that phrase being used, and a lot of times when it is used, sometimes somebody will throw it at you or throw it at somebody else because they're angry, maybe in the heat of a conversation, in the heat of an argument, and somebody says, watch your mouth. You know, maybe they're rebuking you, maybe because you've said something that is unbecoming. But allow me to also, just take another angle to that, whereas that is a reality that sometimes you're told to watch your mouth because you're saying things that are unbecoming. The Bible actually does warn us and help us, that we ought to be very careful, and we ought to put a guard around our mouth. We ought to put a guard around the words that we actually use. We live in a culture currently, the culture that we live in is a culture that kind of encourages and has normalized bad language. And sometimes you talk to people and they can hardly sustain a conversation without using four-letter words, without using some cuss words, without blurting out things that they ought not to blurt out. Sometimes the content of some of the jokes that people share demeaning to other people, jokes that are sexist, misogynistic, jokes that put down other people. And we have kind of, in many ways, normalized some of these things. Unfortunately, in our culture too, we are losing the art of conversation, the art of respectful conversation, where we can be able to converse with one another, even though we have differing views, even though we have differing opinions about certain topics. In this day and age, you can hardly be able to sustain a proper conversation with a whole lot of people before somebody gets upset, and especially also people hiding behind social media. And even when they disagree with you, they don't know how to disagree agreeably. They will begin cussing you out, begin calling you names, they begin abusing you and insulting you. But I just want to encourage, I want to help you, I want to challenge somebody who is listening to me out there, that in this life, and if you're going to be to move in this life, and you're going to be something, and you're going to make something out of your life, you have to put a guard around your mouth. You have to watch your mouth. You have to be careful how you engage with people. Learn how to articulate issues. Learn how to be respectful in your speech. Even when you disagree with an opinion, when you disagree with somebody, you don't have to cast them out. Because, like I always tell people, that adding four-letter words, throwing at somebody, insulting that person, dehumanizing them, does not add value to what you're saying or to your argument. It does not add value to that conversation, and it only leaves people hurt, it leaves people in pain. But I also want to help you to know this, that the Bible also says this, and it is true, that whatever a man sows, that shall he also reap. If you are used to hurting people with your mouth, if you're used to throwing words at people, not caring and cussing people out, I assure you that you will reap that kind of a harvest too. You will reap a harvest of anger, a harvest of bitterness, people insulting you, people hurting you with the same tool that you have actually used to hurt other people. But I want to encourage you, there's great value in putting a guard around your mouth. How you engage, talk well. Even when you disagree sharply with somebody, don't cast them out. You can disagree agreeably, and that's a great thing. So that even when you one day find yourself before great people, you're able to articulate your issues without losing your cool, without using unbecoming language. Watch your mouth. Please share this with somebody, because I think this is a video that really needs to be shared out there to as many as possible, so that we can learn to watch our mouth and watch our language. God bless you.